What's going on, Sky Squad? We are back in the building. We're back in the building. It's Friday, February the 20th, y'all. I cannot believe we are almost through with this month. Is it me or did this month just go by extra fast? Like, I feel like we just flew through this entire week. I don't even know where the week went, but we do have a little bit of tea that we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about love and hip hop, both Atlanta and Miami. And we're also going to be talking about a little bit of Bell Collective. And then we're going to touch on this hype around America's Next Top Model. Okay. So I want you to dive on in, get your coffee mugs, get your tea cups, get all of the things because we have a lot to discuss. Before we get into that, I do have to let y'all know I'm trying a new camera setting. So y'all let me know if it's clear. I spent all day yesterday searching for a new streaming platform to utilize. So expect something different potentially in the next couple of weeks. I was testing out a couple of different things and I don't know that I like any of them yet. So we will see what we end up with. All right. So first things first, I do need to touch on this one little item, y'all. One little item right here, y'all. One little item. Y'all, our group trip to Bali is live. We are going back September 28th through October the 1st. No, October 5th, excuse me. So you guys can see the website is in the link in the description of this video, but I also put it here in the chat just so that you guys have it. In case you guys wanted to register, we have about 13 more spots available. We started off at 9 a.m. with about 19. So we are actually almost to the finish line. So for the first 10 people, you get $200 off of your booking. All right. And this is going to be a stay. You can see all of the details right here. You can make your reservation. You can make your deposit. You can make a payment plan. We also take Klarna and Affirm. So you have lots of options. And I did put the link in the description as well as the link in the chat. Yes, let's go. Rob says, I have my coffee and I am booked for Bali. Yes. And yes, we are live. We are live. And again, the price is super reasonable for what we're doing. So if you have not been on a trip of ours, I can definitely tell you, just like we sold out for Vietnam, we're definitely going to sell out for Bali. So tap in, y'all. Tap in. All right. So let's get down into the biz naive that we need to talk about. I want to know what is happening with the Love and Hip Hop. What is happening with Love and Hip Hop? Because Chaotic, Uncle Luke over here going back and forth. You know, Uncle Luke, we can call him Uncle Luke, okay? Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy, Trick love the kids. He was on the Angela Yee show. Y'all, he said, the answer that he really gave to this question when Angela Yee asked it, it was kind of weird. You know, he then spun this back on Chaotic and talked about how Chaotic, you know, he don't really do TikTok stuff like Chaotic. Because, you know, TikTok, not really TikTok, but, you know, Chaotic is a YouTuber at this point in time. And let me just say what I mean when I say a YouTuber, okay? He has utilized YouTube. He has utilized YouTube as a marketing engine for the things that he does. He's a streamer at this point. He is somebody who is utilizing YouTube the way that it should be used. Go ahead and get that money. I'm not mad at it. And so what happens is every time he comes into conflict with somebody, you know what he does is he actually goes back to his YouTube channel and then he responds to that person on the YouTube channel. So you would have to go and watch his YouTube channel in order to get his responses to some of these things that he has coming, that he says out of his mouth, or anything that they say, he's going to clap back at them on his YouTube channel. Now, Angela Yee has asked this question because the rumors were that Love and Hip Hop Miami was canceled. Chaotic then came out and talked about how Love and Hip Hop would be canceled as well. And Scrappy said, basically talked about how Chaotic was hating outside the club. I too had heard that Love and Hip Hop Miami, this was their last season. I would not have been surprised if it was. So here's the thing. I don't know that Love and Hip Hop Miami has the same level of fandom as Atlanta does. Let me ask you guys a question in the chat. What's your preference? Do you prefer Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop Miami? Everybody didn't get a chance to see it. I'm gonna put it in the chat again. Okay. Sabrina says, I prefer New York, but we'll settle on Atlanta. I haven't watched Love and Hip Hop since LA. I hope they never cancel Atlanta. I'm gonna give you my thoughts in just one second. Some people, there's a few New York. Y'all love that New York. Ooh, this is an interesting take. Ashley says Chaotic is funny, and I'm glad they let him go. The show was holding him back. That's an interesting take on that. And it's funny because Miami had interesting drama. I prefer Miami because I'm tired of Kirk and Rakshida. Not all of them need to go. Oh no, Sharon, we need something to watch. No, Sharon. No, Sharon. No, no, Sharon. I need all the shows that I can watch because that gives us an excuse to talk every day. All right. It does. ATL is way better. Most of the Miami cast is way too concerned about Amara La Negra's love life. That is everyone's storyline. And for me with the Miami cast, I don't know a lot of those people. So it's hard for me to identify with that. Mac says, I'm with Sharon. But let me ask y'all a question. For those of you guys who feel like a show should be taken off of the air, when you say that, do you want us to have anything to watch? Or what would be your preference that they put on in its place? Let me ask you this. Let's do this favor. If you are ever suggesting on this channel that they take a show off the air, my biggest question to you will be this. If you tell us that they need to take something off, then you need to also tell us what they need to put in its place. Because every time somebody says take a show off, then that is less shows for all of us to enjoy. Even if you don't enjoy it, you're taking it away from somebody else who does enjoy it. And the bottom line is this: we don't have that many shows with casts who are this diverse. So again, when you take off one of these shows, I want you guys to understand you are also taking away some of the representation that we see on TV. Now, I know for some of you that may not feel like good representation, but if that is your suggestion, suggest something else. That's all I ask. To be fair, suggest something else. If you're gonna If you're gonna say, I wish this show would go away, tell us what you feel like you wish they would bring back and be specific. Be specific. I mean, because I think it's very easy to say, well, take that show off the air, cancel it, and I'm like, okay, well, every time y'all say cancel a show, you do know if the networks listen to every one of y'all that said cancel a show, we wouldn't have any shows left to watch. You do realize that, right? You do realize that. I want you to understand. Every time y'all say that, if somebody was actually doing that, we would not have very many shows for us to enjoy. So again, let's be productive with it and suggest something else that would work better, bring a show back, or give us another idea. That's all I'm saying. Because I personally feel like I don't say take a show off the air. I just stop watching it. And if I do give a negative critique about it, then I can usually tell you what could be done to improve the show. So I wanted to give you guys that alternative perspective. I'm not really that person that's going to say, well, take this show off the air, because again, you're taking away somebody else's enjoyment. And I don't really like that idea. I do like the idea of saying, hey, if we want to remove this, let's bring this on. Or how about this idea for a show? That to me sounds a lot more productive than just simply taking away everybody's income, taking away people's enjoyment, taking away communities being able to have discussions about the shows because it's fun, it's interesting, and it's what has connected us all. Just a little thought behind it. Speaking of love and hip hop, real quick, um, Selma, I could not think of this lady's name earlier to save my life. I just want to understand why this lady Selma would want to come on this show. And here's the reason why I asked that question. I don't know whether or not she had something going on with this person on the side who is basically spilling all the beans about their alleged activities, which I kind of think is crazy. But whatever, it got him a mention on the show. Maybe it got him some extra work, some extra dollars in his pocket. I really don't know. But what I do know is, ma'am, the moment you go on one of these shows like this, the whole goal of the show, yes, is obviously that you get some fame and notoriety, but probably not at the expense of your marriage, maybe with Mr. 32, 24, 27, 60 hours, whatever the case may be. So that's number one. That's my primary question. Number one. Yes, she is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. In my opinion, I personally feel like I could have helped her find more avenues for work and for money than doing this show where she don't necessarily have to have her marital life or alleged affairs scrutinized by the rest of the cast. We could have found you some money, baby. Like we really could have found you. I mean, because you got a look, there is money that is out there for you in the content creation space, leveraging content like Chaotic, getting yourself your YouTube channel, having your merch, your music. We could do ads. There is so much we could have done that. And I'm not, listen, again, I love it when the people are on these shows. I do, because again, it gives us something to talk about. But when you got something like this happening in the periphery of your life, there was probably a better way. There was probably a better way to do this, I think. Because now you find yourself sitting in front of Sierra, who is chopping your man down to tiny bits. Not to mention, you have enlisted the help of a friend who did not do her job. Okay? You need to fire your friend. I just want you to know, Selma, please fire this friend of yours. Don't call her no more. If I were you, I would block her, block her number. Just she failed. Okay. She failed in terms of what the assignment was. And this is not a knock on the young lady on the phone. It's totally not. But it is just that it sounded like there was a plan that you came into this scene with. And that plan was to snap back at Sierra about somebody named Grip that Sierra had allegedly been cavorting with, maybe before, and all of these are allegations. Let me just say that because I just want to make sure you guys understand. It is alleged. It's alleged. Okay. All of this is alleged. Your life is actually alleged. Nothing is real here. Absolutely nothing is real. Nothing is real. Hold on one second. Somebody, okay, perfect. Okay, so Selma tells Sierra as Sierra is confronting her about all the things that have been said about Selma by Sierra's husband's cousin, who claims to have been or be smashing Selma. Selma is trying to say that they connected, hooked up, did whatever they did before the marriage. So it is not to be counted right now. Whatever the case may be, Selma tries to throw this Grip person who we don't know, and neither does her friend, Sierra. So Selma tells Sierra, yeah, my homegirl told me that you had something going on with Grip. Sierra is like, who is Grip? Now, mind you, Sierra in her confessional sounds like listen. Now, Sierra posted this in the comments because I guess people was going off about how she sound in her confessional. She says, we be doing confessionals at like 2 and 3 a.m., doing 16 pages. I run 4 businesses. I be tired, but nevertheless, run with the high. Who cares? But who the heck is Grip? The people think she hot in this confessional now because she is very much like, I mean, who would Grip? Who Grip is? And I don't. You gotta watch the scene, okay? Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for this because you have got to watch this scene. If you don't watch not another thing from this episode, watch this scene, okay? When I tell you, if you want to get your ever-loving life, if you thought this show should be canceled, baby, no, okay? No, Meredith, no. Also, thank you, Dr. Jen, for the super chat. Says, I don't even watch Love and Hip Hop. I am just here for a key. Okay. So what happens is when Grip is brought up, Selma says, well, hold on. I'm going to call my girlfriend that actually gave me the tea. When I tell you, if this was not the biggest fail, Selma, I would quit. I would quit. I would go ahead and quit. She calls girlfriend on the FaceTime and is like, hey, girlfriend, yeah, remember you was telling me about Sierra and the grip? The girl is on the line like, who? Who 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 is grip? Who? Have a say what? Grip? Girl, I don't what are you talking about? So Sierra's like, give me the phone. Selma, you so new. Oh my God. Ain't no way in HE double hockey sticks I would have gave Sierra that phone. I would have hung up on my friend. I would I would have I would have hung up on my friend so fast. Okay? So fast. It was such a flop gotcha moment. It was such a flop that Sierra couldn't even be bothered to even entertain it. Who is Grip? Selma don't know who Grip is. The girl, I don't know. What's her name? Judy? I don't know. The girl on the phone didn't know who Grip was. And then the girl on the phone, oh God, poor friend. Friend, for some reason, at that point, tried to recover and it's like, well, I mean, if she said it, maybe she got confused, Sierra. And Sierra at that point is like, man, get out of here. First of all, Selma, the moment that she did not do what her job was, you should have hung up that phone. I would have it would have been some static on the line. I would have dropped the phone actually. I would have dropped the phone. And so at this point, Selma gets to stuttering and stumbling, and she has to make her way out of she has to excuse herself. Meanwhile, again, Sierra ain't stopped eating her food. She's just enjoying it. And she's like, well, why are you running away? And at that point, she basically says, as Selma is walking out, um, you don't like your husband. He's too big. He ain't got no swag. And the D probably small as HE double hockey sticks. Now I'm thinking to myself, Selma, I don't know if you heard that last part, but what you might have should have done in order to turn this scene in your favor, I don't condone theatrics. I don't condone any type of violent behavior, but that was your moment to shake the table. The phone would have dropped. I would have shook the table. I would have thrown a drink or something like that. Something, even if I missed Sierra on purpose, I would have caused such a scene that nothing else that they almost couldn't have filmed the rest of the scene. That's what I would have did. Just toss the drink. Just girl, everything else is going wrong. They expect you to do something. People are expecting you to wild out in some way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, if I were to coach you from the sideline, it would have been, baby, dude, you're gonna have to recover from all this. And the best way to recover would have been for you to start shaking that table, knock everything off of it. Again, even if nothing hits Sierra, you just want to make a speedy exit and make it as chaotic, no pun intended, as possible on your way out, such that you look like the person who has been victimized here. Because you were victimized by your friend. And then I would have cursed girlfriend out when I left. Actually, girlfriend might be cursing you out because she could have been like, because at the end of the day, girlfriend could have been like, what? Why would you put me in that position? I hadn't even did my hair today. My makeup on done. Well, nothing ready. I didn't tell you. Did you tell me you was about to do this? You could have told me I was about to be on camera. Yes, make it memorable in your favor. Ugh. This is how you know she's new, right? She's new. She's still prim and proper and put together. And, I get it. I get it. I do get that aspect. She probably wants to maintain, a particular type of image. And I get that. But girl, let me tell you something. You are on Love and Hip Hop. Make a scene, cause a scene, do something. You got to do something. Again, even if you have no intentions on splashing Sierra or anything like that, flip out and fall out. Pull a Carly Red, flip out, and fall out. At that point in time, otherwise, you just you you just looking like you running out of the scene and you got played by Sierra and your friend. Here's the thing. I like Sierra too. Sierra to me is crazy. I'm not saying like in a psychotic way. I'm just simply saying I just don't think she gives two two F's about what's going on. I think Sierra is just going to get her money. Okay, she's going to get her money on the show with her money monsters, on all her other endeavors that she's got going on the side. So she is somebody who I think has learned how to leverage this show for all of its chaos. And she now leans into the chaos of it all. And she doesn't mind stirring up the pot, stirring up the juice, causing a ruckus for these new girls, and especially the new girls, because the new girls would be easy targets. The new girls and the guys, they be easy targets when they come into the show thinking that they're gonna just promote their music, and the OGs are like, ah, ha ha ha, contraire, mon frere, we're about to put you to work. We're about to put you to work. I came to this scene to eat. I'm gonna eat my chicken wings, my chicken livers, my chicken gizzards, and I'm gonna have a good old time while you run up out of this restaurant. I'm gonna get my grub on. The scene is gonna be made regardless. Now I might not be able to see you behind my heavy bangs, but at the end of the day, the scene was seen in bangs. Bang. All right. So honestly, I think if Love and Hip Hop Atlanta continues in this form, baby, baby, they won't have any issues staying on the air. Okay, they won't have not a one issue staying on the air. Okay, Mhm. It wasn't me. Uh, Listen, the friend. Oh my god, the friend was so. Oh my god, today. Um. Ooh, I do enjoy me some hip hop fish and chicken. Mm-mm-mm. What I would do for some right now. Mm-mm-mm. Meanwhile, oh, side note, y'all, go and get your copy. Gertie from the Real Housewives of Miami sent me a copy of her book. So I'm gonna read it. Oh, she sent me a note to Richie. Hope you enjoy reading my real story. Signed, Gertie. So I want to shout out to Gertie for sending me this, and I will be tapping in on this as well. I think you can get this from her website. I'll put the link in the description for those of you guys who may be interested in reading her story. All right, just thought I would mention that. Shout out to Gertie. Shout out to Gertie. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. That came in the mail yesterday. Yesterday. All right. So let's move on to our next story. Also, mind you, well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. Are y'all watching the Bills? Because this season is actually pretty interesting to me. It's actually pretty interesting. I felt like as I'm watching this particular preview, I'm getting a distinct Housewives vibe from it. And I don't mean that in a way that the show is trying to be Housewives. Don't get me wrong. It is not that. It is that I am getting a distinct kind of formula that I can appreciate for the show. Usually on a show, you do have, especially when it's a group of women. And yes, they do have their husbands that are involved, or their men sometimes. I mean, most of the time for most of the girls. But they also have these, the group scene moments with the ladies that just kind of made me feel, it gave me this scene right here is giving me a housewife scene, but it's giving me an early housewife scene, okay? Like back in the day, which is good. Now, in this scene, what you will see is Letitia has her own backup buddy on the show in the form of Shantae. Okay. Now, Shantae, I don't know what she does, to be honest with you, but Shantae is kind of giving me a similar vibe that Latrice's buddy friend gave, and her name was Mandy Girl. Okay. Amanda. Man, I call her Mandy Girl, but that's what I call most people named Amanda. Okay. Honestly, her name could be Mandy, and I just don't remember. But Mandy Girl. Shantae, for me, equals Mandy Girl, as in the friend who comes in and has a lot to say about Letitia and Latrice's relationship. Similarly to how Mandy Girl had a lot to say about Latrice, Shantae has a lot to say to Latrice. And this all comes to a head at Carrie's Poetic Justice birthday jamboree. So the girls are sitting around apparently, and this continues in this week's episode. So tonight you will see this. Shantae basically wants to know if Latrice, in some way, shape, or form, feels like she owes Letitia an apology. Remember when Latrice last year had brought Mandy Girl around, Mandy Girl revealed that there were some alleged inappropriate text messages betwixt her and Glenn, who is Letitia's husband, who she has been having issues with for the past 7 seasons. And so here we are again. They are suffering from the fallout of Mandy Girl's revelations from last season. And Letitia is also working to be an independent woman. She has her businesses, and those businesses are taking her a lot further and further away from home, according to Glenn. Glenn has expressed his disdain for her having so much autonomy in their relationship and independence, as though being her own person would somehow make her forget totally about him. Hmm. But that's an issue. Okay. So for all of the chaos that Mandy Girl brought up, Shantae wants to know, Latrice, do you feel like you owe my friend an apology? And Latrice actually pulls out what felt to me very housewives, right? It gave very much housewives. Latrice basically tells her, listen, girl, I don't have to talk to you. I don't owe you nothing. You are essentially not even a cast member. So me giving you any explanations is not going to happen. I don't have to talk to you. I will not be talking to you. And I will not be offering any apologies to her who is standing right here. Our issues or whatever we got going on is betwixt us. And Letitia is very much given like, hey Shantae, no, Shantae, sashay away. No, because listen, whether or not that was orchestrated or not. I mean, here's the thing. Shantae is gonna have to come in and say something in order for it to be, something to be made into a scene. That's really, I mean, the bottom line to this. Otherwise, Shantae would serve no other purpose. So I figured that was coming at some point when I saw Shantae, and Shantae told Marie and Letitia that she be letting them girls get away with too much. Um, so I knew going in when I first saw Shantae, I said, "Oh, Shantae is about to. I know what she about to do. I know where this is going." And again, that's her friend. You bring in the friend. That's pretty much what we expect these days. You know what I'm saying? We know what's up. We didn't seen enough. We didn't seen enough of these shows to know how this is going to go. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it because I'm assuming that for the production to start us off so heavy with this beef between Letitia and Latrice that there are going to be some twists and turns, especially if the season is longer than the previous seasons have been. So I would expect that we will not see Mandy Girl, except maybe if Latrice or Tambra are getting their hair done, because I know that I'm sure they still use her to get to get the hair did and whatnot. I mean, it was interesting to me that we did not see Mandy Girl at the reunion. So to me, you were missing out on a huge element of the reunion when you didn't have Mandy Girl there, and she was such a huge part of the season. But given that we didn't see her at the reunion, I kind of felt like we would never see her again on the show. Letitia knew this is what living with fibro. Mm, oh, wait, I'm gonna jack up that word. Okay, I already know I am. So I'm just gonna let you know that now, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So, says Letitia knew she married an old school dude, so she should expect that just because she's changing, he might not like it. I mean, dang, it's like, mm, is it that he's an old school dude, or do you think that he could just be insecure? Because I would assume that the assumption could be that because of his own things that he's had going on in the past, he's probably afraid that Letitia Pearson, because somebody said which one is Letitia. Letitia is the one all the way to the left in the leather outfit. I would be wondering if maybe he thought that because he did something back in the day that he would now think that she might be moving on to bigger and better things because here's the thing about success. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Success and access puts you in rooms with people who also have success and access. Okay. So what happens typically when you start to level up in your life is that you start getting around people who have a lot more success and a lot more access. Now, if in any other circumstance, let's say she was not married, in the rooms and the spaces that she is going to be entering at this point, she is going to be meeting successful people, particularly men, who are probably on a similar level. Okay. And so if she were single, then it would be a situation where she might be looking to level up as well because you kind of want to be equally yoked. But because she is married, I just don't think she has that eye. I think that perhaps she is going to be the the woman who says, "I'm gonna stick beside him no matter what." I don't judge her for that, to be honest with you, but I just think at this point she does need to kind of understand who he is. He sounds like he just does not want her to be out here pop locking and dropping it all over the place. And when I say pop locking and dropping it, I just really mean out here working and working and making a name for herself. And to a certain degree, I do have to wonder if what we're seeing is real and true, because I have to give some grace to this being a reality TV show as well. But if we're seeing what we're seeing is real and true, then it seems to me like he is holding her back. Fibromyalgia. Did I pronounce that right? I want to get it right. Hopefully I did. Um, Now she is sleeping with the enemy. Glenn don't want her to work and would give her an allowance just like back in the day. I'm like, how much is the allowance? Like, how much is the allowance? Um, is she married to the man living in the townhouse? No. So I think you might be talking about Latrice. They have a home, but he was staying at the condo above their restaurante. Hi, CJ. It could be that there's an aspect of control there. Jewel says Latrice's new arrogance flow, especially with Letitia, is no doubt going to escalate. I do see their situation escalating. For Glenn, he needs to stop as his insecurity is draining, post his own discretions. If he gets home, cook first, cook. Yeah, I'm like, I know a lot of guys that cook. I know a lot of guys that do a lot of cooking for their wives. And sometimes their wives are like, he cooked better than me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If she had a hard day, Ninja cook for her. Chances are both of y'all might have had a hard day. You know? It's a lot of L names. You right. Letitia, Latrice. There's a Letitia on Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's a lot of M's on Love and Marriage Huntsville. It used to be Melody, Marceau, Maurice, Martell, and you just had a lot of M's on that show. I think so as well, but I think what happens in a lot of relationships is when two people start together and they're at two certain levels, it is very easy to, I believe, only see that person at the level at which you are accustomed to seeing them. So, this is why I tell people when you start a business or you are doing something new, I often tell people that you should not tell your family or your closest friends. The reason why, and that's not always true, because some people will have those family and friends that support them no matter what. But sometimes what ends up happening is the people in your life that are in your life currently have they only see you as the way they have always known you. So when you start doing something different, it is completely foreign to them and they cannot accept this new reality of who you are. But that's the thing about life. You're always changing. So when you get married to somebody or you sign up as somebody, when you sign off to be somebody's friend, you also have to recognize that you're signing up to be with the person that they are today and who they will be tomorrow. And what happens is a lot of people think that, oh yeah, I'm getting married to this person who they are today. Yeah, you are, but that's why um the vows are written the way that they are, in sickness, in health, till death do us part. The people, when they think about till death do us part, they're like, oh, I love you to infinity. I want to be with you forever. But when you say till death do you part, that means I am going to be with you through every season of your life. That is the undercurrent that is not being stated in the till death do us part. So a lot of people in their minds, they skip over that when they decide to get married. But it is literally there should be a clause in there. I will be with you as you grow, as you change, as you develop, as you transform, as you evolve. Or, I think in the case where your spouse or your significant other loses a family member, then they actually do change and they become a different person because of that loss and that grief. And so now you are still married to that person that has lost something and they are no longer the same person. And I think that that's what's happening with Glenn and Letitia is that she's not the same person that you started with. She has now built a successful show and she's got to show up this way for the women in her community who she is hoping to affect change for. And when you become a mentor, you are now required to also mentally level up. And it's hard to keep trying to level up and elevate when you have somebody who always wants to keep you down to where you used to be. So that's going to be difficult for her. And this is why I sort of feel like there's a potential holding, there's kind of a potential that he's holding her back by not letting her expand and grow and see who she becomes. Y'all still in that man cooking. um, yeah, I mean, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, listen, they skip over for richer or for poorer because also too, what can happen in relationships is, you know, you go through everybody has financial seasons that they go through. So you got to kind of understand that, all right, you might go through a season. How do the two of you rally together? Can you rally together? Do you trust each other to rally with each other? That's not an easy thing. And you really have to that's where the work comes in. You have to put in the work to say, okay, what are my roadblocks here? What am I afraid to tell you these things? Or, how do we adjust so that we make, space for each other to grow and to blossom and to correct, all of these things can be worked through. All of these things can be worked through. The financial dynamic may change and the breadwinner does too. It happens. It happens. It totally happens. Now I see somebody saying about something about Atlanta. What's going on? Hold on. Let me check my sources because if that trailer done dropped, let me check. Let me just make sure because I am on Atlanta trailer watch. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Don't go nowhere. I gotta check y'all. The people will be dropping stuff, and I'm like, whoa. I would imagine that we will be getting the Real Housewives of Atlanta trailer pretty soon because they did drop a promo during this past week's episode of Atlanta. So I'm assuming that will be coming up pretty soon. Yeah. All right. So last story, real quick. Last story, guys. Potentially, unless something pops off. Stand by. I gotta pull up the clip. And while I'm pulling this up, have y'all seen, and just answer me yes or no in the chat and I'll know. Have y'all seen the America's Next Top Model documentary on Netflix? If you have, let us know. Let us know in the chat real quick. All right, I got it pulled up. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I was about to watch it last night, but we had a family function, so I went to the function. I went to go eat me some salmon cakes. So I am going to be watching it this weekend, and we will probably talk a bit more in depth about it over the weekend because we'll want to talk about Bell Collective. We'll want to talk about traders. I have to sit down and kind of catch up on all of those. So we'll do that. But before we dive into that, if you did see it, then you probably seen some of the discourse around it. And I kind of didn't want to touch on too much of it because I have not seen it in full myself to give you ultimate, my ultimate um thoughts. But Eva was on CBS Mornings and she gave a really, really, I mean, if I were her PR person, I would have taken her out to lunch right afterwards. She gave probably one of the best responses to not only the documentary, but in terms of recognizing what her experience was, juxtaposing it with what she was horrified to see in the documentary that was going on potentially around her, but also a huge amount of gratitude to Tyra Banks for the experience for herself. That is a difficult space to navigate. And just, I want to say, I got to give Eva some props for being able to walk that middle ground because it's a slippery slope and it can be very, very difficult to do, especially with everything that we're hearing about the documentary and the things that are being revealed in the documentary. But I want to give somebody some credit because, and I don't know if they credit him in this documentary, but Oliver Twixt. Y'all know Oliver has been doing top model interviews for the past couple of years, at least for what I've seen. Now there may have been other people doing them too, and I don't want to leave those people out of the conversation, but I got to shout out Oliver because I think that a lot of these stories started to bubble to the surface when he started doing these interviews. And again, I could be wrong, and there could have been other people that were also doing these types of interviews, but he was probably one of the first people that I would see interviewing some of those contestants who had been on the show on a regular basis. and those clips were starting to go viral. And so I just think that he was on to something very, very early on. And I wanted to give him some shout out for that, because I think that that is also phenomenal that he was also able to kind of help usher some of this in. Um, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. So I did see that Sherry was heavily in defense of TYRA. I'm gonna put my email link in this box. Um, And then I can potentially jump on a Zoom call with you either today or tomorrow, and we can get you all settled in. So email me at the email address that I just dropped in the chat. So again, I want to reserve my full judgment on this until I have seen the full episode, because I think that you could have one opinion about it before you watch it, and then you could have another opinion about it afterwards. And I think it's super important that I digest it in full. I was one of those types of people who, I readily admit, I I used to watch Top Model and I used to love it in its earlier seasons. And I'm gonna also tell you that I also used to love the episodes where they did the transformations. It was just, to me, like, just wild at that time to be totally enthralled in what they would do in their transformations and seeing the girls' reactions. And so I think in our minds as viewers, we used to ask ourselves, or at least me, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to ask myself, well, if y'all knew, if you've seen this show before, you know pretty much that they're gonna change your look. In fact, I know a lot of people who were also looking forward to the transformation episodes. It's just a thing. We were at the time. So when we look back at those experiences now, as easy as it is to say, well, those people knew what they were signing up for, I think we know a lot more about what reality TV is now than we did back then at that time, because we didn't have as much access to behind the scenes information and intel as we have today. So I think that's one thing. I also think it is, when you are on a reality TV show like that, or you're a participant coming from a small town, or coming from, some area of the country where you may feel that your opportunities are limited in terms of what you can do in the modeling industry. And we all know that modeling, the acting and entertainment space, there are people who will lure, hopeful people who are looking for an opportunity into extremely bad circumstances, and those people are feeling like, well, this is my only choice, so this is what I have to do in order to make it, and I've got to push through it. So I think that there's that aspect that needs to be looked at as well, because it's easy to say, well, they knew that what they were signing up for, but in that same instance, nobody should be taken advantage of, and there has to be some sentiment of understanding about these people coming into these situations, and sometimes feeling like they were coming from a hopeless place. So that's again why I am trying to, like, balance my thoughts about it before I watch it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Jewel, so yes, the Bali trip is available. You guys can go here for that. Last I checked, we had 13 bookings left. Nope, we have. I think we have 12 left. Yeah, we have 12 bookings left. So I would say if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, reserve your spot because you don't want to miss out on the opportunity. And this is going to be a great trip because I have curated this entire thing myself based on what I know that we did last time and what we're going to do this time. And I really want it to feel like a mental reset for everybody. It has been a very hard year for a lot of us, and I want us to have a space where we can finally feel at peace. You don't have to check your phone. You don't have to be on social media. You can just exist in a place where you feel absolutely 100% welcome, no matter what you look like, no matter what your background is. This is a place of pure peace to me. I understand why so many people go there to just get away. I'm not asking you to escape from your life, but I just really want you to live more of it. That's the goal with this trip. And you can see that people do come back from these trips completely changed. The pricing is there. It's absolutely great pricing, to be honest with you. Um, this was the number one place when I surveyed the group of people that who want to travel. We surveyed about almost I think we surveyed about 800 people at the time. And so we came up with Bali as the number one spot that people wanted to go to. So I thought, let's go back and let's do it a little bit differently. And you guys can see some of the photos here. I mean, this was at one of the beach clubs. We are going to this beach club. Last time the group did not go, but I went before the group got there. Um, of course, we're going to have a hotel right on the beach. You can see this is the group from last time. This is at one of the waterfalls that we went to. It was super fun. Yes, we're going to go back and see some monkeys. Yes, we're going to do our water purification. So it is a spiritual experience. Of course, we're going to be eating Balinese food. We're going to be seeing the sights. This is what you can look forward to when you come to Bali. It is going to be lit. We have been to this location. We're going to go back to this location. Amazing photos, as you can see here. That is from that same waterfall. So this right here and this right here, same place. But you see how that sun is just hitting that skin. That's what we want to experience. And of course, like I said, you can see rice fields. We're going to go to beach clubs where you can actually see this. We're going to do swings. They have these Bali swings at a couple of the locations that we're going to. So you'll be able to do that. And of course, that's the beach club because, I mean, why not? And we're going to be able to see and do all of these things as well. So I really want you guys to come and experience it. This, I think, is one of the hotels that we're staying at. So as you can see, it is right on the beach, but you got the pool right there. And of course, we're going to be hitting up this beach club because I also know that when we go on vacation, we kind of want to let our hair down and we want to be able to just breathe and just be. That's what we're really looking for here. Like, is the opportunity to do that. And I'm talking like, y'all, it just be when I tell you, when you get away on these trips, it's like you're on a different planet. You almost forget about everything that has been like troubling you and bothering you. And also, too, if you have a friend that wants to go, a lot of people who come on these trips, they are usually coming because there has been somebody else that they've tried to travel with, and that person might have backed out. They didn't have a good time with the last group that they went with. Like they may have gone with a group of friends, and they just didn't have a good time. So this is always an opportunity for us to be able to kind of bond together, especially if you have been with me for a while. Um, and I do try to spend as much one-on-one time with people as I possibly can, which is why I don't have the trips go that large in terms of group size. I found about 19 people is a sweet spot that we can hit. And right now it is $200 off of that price. And all you have to do is just reserve your spot. We do accept payment plans. They have a payment plan regardless, so you can just pay over time. You make your deposit, and then you just pay over time, or you can do Klarna, or you can do Affirm for people who are wanting to pay for this in a longer period of time. Just a few more photos so you guys can see it. We're definitely going to be biking through some of these places as well. So we'll do the back of the Gojek bikes, and you'll find out that that is probably one of like the most. That's like one of most people's most favorite activities is biking through the city. So there's that. Um, Obviously, you have your description of what this is. Anybody can go who is from 18 plus. I will tell you, if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, this is also a good trip because we've had a lot of age ranges go. A lot of people in their 40s and 50s have been going because they've also just needed the break, the getaway. And let's see what else. And the full itinerary is here. So it is 8 days, 7 nights, and I give you the entire rundown from the moment you land at the airport to your transfer to where we're staying at. Day two, you can see exactly what we'll be doing, going to the waterfall and also doing the monkey forest. Anything that you see on this list that you don't feel like doing or you want to take a little break from it, you don't have to do it. But I highly recommend this day because it's a really, really good bonding experience day, and we will also have a photographer as well so that you can capture these memories and you don't feel like you have to get all of these photos yourself. The photographer is there for your to help you maximize the experience, but not to be intrusive for those of you guys that don't want to be photographed. But I just find that it's fun to have those moments that you can take away and at least keep them for yourself. Then on day three, and we always start with the welcome dinner. So you want to make sure that first day that you are there before the welcome dinner, which is usually around 6. And you don't want to miss that because that's always fun. Day three, we're going to be doing some calm activity. We're going to do the Bali swing. We're going to go to some rice fields, rice terraces, and then we're going to hit the beach club. I'm telling you, this first beach club, y'all, you do not want to miss this one. This is the one that I've taken all my photos at. It is, first of all, it's just lit. That's all I can say. It's lit. It's on the edge of a cliff. That's what I love about it. The entire beach club is on the edge of a cliff. Listen, the experience is there for you. I love it. I love it. Yo, but yeah, it's on the edge of a cliff and it is wild. So you have pools above pools, above pools. The DJ is like dangling off the edge of the cliff. The swing is on. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Um, let's see what else. Then day four, we're going to be doing, of course, breakfast, all of that stuff. And we're going to visit the water temples. This is kind of where you can have some of those really spiritual experiences, which is what I'm looking for. My goal is to go to Bali and then leave with clarity and balance because I feel like when I look back at all my trips, this is probably one of the places that I felt like I was the most clear when I left outside of Zanzibar. Um, so we'll do that. We'll come back for lunch and then we'll do our bike tour through the streets. Let me tell you something, that bike tour is everything. I thought people would feel afraid or like it was danger, but everybody loved this bike tour. I have never felt more free in my life just riding through the streets of Bali on these bikes. And you're on the back of a bike, so somebody else is driving. And let me tell you something, it is probably one of the most fun things I've ever done. Not gonna lie. Then day five, we're gonna be, of course, breakfast all over again. And this is a day where you can actually just relax by the poolside because I wanted to also make this experience something where you can just kind of relax and enjoy it, but also still see things. So you can actually just spend a late morning just either getting a spa treatment or, just hanging out in your room, hanging out poolside by the beach. There's a lot of shopping along the beach as well. And then we're going to head over to another beach club. So yes, beach club, water temple, beach club, another beach club. So this is going to be a fun day because I haven't been to this particular beach club, but I knew that I wanted to include, well, I really wanted to have an experience where it felt like every day felt like either a spiritual experience, relaxing, or it felt like a party. So we'll have that experience as well. And I think this one is also on the edge of a cliff as well. So that's going to be pretty fun. And then day 6, we're going to be going into the heart of Ubud. If you know about Ubud, that's kind of like one of the main attraction areas. And we're going to do an herbal medicine class. This was also something that I really wanted us to do because I feel like I personally felt like Bali was healing. And so I know that a lot of people who go on these trips have experienced something over this past year, and I just wanna make sure that you leave the trip feeling like you got something that you could take away that would be healing for not only your mind, but also your body. And then we're gonna go to the pyramids of Chi. We did this as it was not a part of the experience last time. We just kind of found this and we ended up doing it. And it was probably one of the best things that we did while we were there. I'm no lie on this. We went to a light and sound bath. And what they do is you're kind of on these beds that vibrate and you're in a pyramid. It's crazy. And it's a sound bath, but they have light infused in it. And then the bed is vibrating. When I tell you, I don't think anything changed me as much as, I mean, there's life experiences that have changed me, but I don't think I had a more clarifying experience than I did in this light and sound bath. Period. Period. I have not had that since, and this is part of the big reasons that I wanted to go back, specifically because I really felt like more people needed to do the light and the sound bath. Not everybody got to do it. Not everybody chose to go on this excursion because, again, we found it at the last minute and we wanted to just do something and we took a chance and we did it. And I said, I got to go back. Everybody's got to experience this. So you got to get in that pyramid when those lights go off and they start doing those sounds and your bed starts vibrating. Baby, let me tell you something. I felt like I was on another planet. All right. My whole spirit had left my body and I was someplace else. And I, I don't know what you are looking for in your life right now. I don't know where you are in this moment currently in what you are currently experiencing. But what I do know is that if you are looking to be changed, then you definitely need to do that. Okay? And then let's see here. All right. Day 7 is a kind of a leisure day that you can move at your own pace because we will have done a lot in the days leading up to this. So we wanted to give you a day where you can actually just spend it like just at your own pace, checking out some of the boutiques in Ubud, which you will definitely want to do. Um, Journaling or just kind of like sitting in stillness and just relaxing. And then we will have a farewell dinner that night. And if they do it at the hotel, then they'll probably do it for us on the beach. So it'll be kind of like, you ever seen those housewives vacations where they're having like their last dinner on the beach? I mean, it'll be kind of like that, but without the drama. Okay. Without the drama, because the trips are always so much fun. Like people leave, I would say about 60% of the people who have come on these trips have been on multiple trips. Um, yes. Um, and then of course, day 8, you have your final breakfast, and then we have the transfers that are provided for you for your return back to the airport. I typically stay an extra day or two, or I get to the location an extra day or two. What I will say is, uh, Mimi Cook says, "Dang, you're making me want to go." It's definitely a fun experience. Um, K Sterling, beautiful temples, but be careful with the stray dogs in Bali. I personally have gone to, let's see, I saw this in Phuket. I saw this in Bali. I saw this in Zanzibar. For me, in each of those countries that I've been to, they have stray dogs that are roaming around. I personally have never seen any human interact with any of those dogs. And I have not been in any location where we have come into contact with them. The places that we're going to be at are going to be places that are meant for people who are looking for an experience. And we're not just going to be walking along the sides of any of the roads. You may see stray dogs and you may see stray cats, but I do find for me in the places that I have been that those dogs and cats are not worried about the people. I would advise getting there at least the morning of. If you get there the night before, that's even better because it gives you an opportunity to like get over the jet lag and just kind of like chill and relax. Um, Unique Goddess says, I wish I could go. My birthday is 10/03. Oh, that'll be well, that would make a good birthday gift. I don't have anyone that would keep my autistic son for 8 days. I really need this in my life. Oh my God. I wish we could find a way for you to go, especially if you're saying you really need it in your life. And on October the 3rd, that's like a big day for the group. We will actually be doing a lot of spiritual activities that day. So, I mean, let's hope that you can find a way to get there. But yeah, y'all. So you can make a reservation to reserve your spot by putting down your down payment. And then you would just pay over time. And like I said, we do have payment arrangements. As you can see here, it says reserve your spot and then pay later with Klarna. So you would click reserve your spot, then enter your guest details here. They have a single room upgrade. And yeah, the reservation current is $99. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's that simple. It's literally that simple. And as you can see, there are still a couple of $200 off coupon codes that are already available for you in the link. So it's that simple. And you can see everything here that is included. Daily breakfast is included, lunch on days 2 and 4, and dinner on days 1 and 7. You will have your arrival transfer that you don't have to worry about. So when you land in Bali, you don't have to worry about trying to find a way to get to the hotel. We will have that already done for you. Everything is taken care of in terms of all of the transportation from to and from our events. We have a local travel guide. So everything is already done for you. All you have to do at this point is then show up. No, it does not include the flight. Yeah. Mm-mm. The flights though are not that expensive, to be honest with you, depending on who you're flying and when you book your ticket. If you start looking now, you can usually find some pretty decent flights. Going to Ghana in 2 weeks, trying to fit this in my budget. Let's go. I need to know how Ghana was. I'm also working on some stuff for Ghana as well. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. Does anybody have any other questions real quick? Da, 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 da. Oh, 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 go shorty. It's your birthday. So we now have 11 spots left. Y'all, I'm telling you, jump on in and get that $200 off before it is gone. It is literally $99 to reserve your spot. Literally. Somebody else just booked. Ding, 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 Shawnee. Yup. Oh, wait. No, 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 no. I lie. I think I'm lying. Hold on. Hold on. 19. No, we have 10 more spots. Sorry. Boom. Let's go. I don't know who just booked. No, there's no dress code. I mean, likely because we'll be either on a beach or outside or something like that. But or I don't know. The first restaurant we went to last time, we were kind of in this. I don't want to call it a city because it's kind of like just the central area. And no, you don't have to dress up. Mm-mm. Just come to dinner. I mean, just look good. Yeah, I would always suggest looking now for lower prices. Shout out to you if you just booked though. That's dope. Hold on, let me see how many. Let's see what I can do if I click on this now. I mean, that happened just that fast. Oh, okay. So I think I have one more $200 off spot. I have one more. Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to pack less. We're going to Vietnam in what? How many weeks is that? I think it's probably we're going to be in Vietnam in like 2.5 weeks. So I'm trying to not pack as much either. I'm trying to learn how to pack a little bit less because, uh, you know, I'm just trying to figure it out because we're going to be all over the place. Um, Hold on. My aunt is texting me. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions before we go? My assignments are going to be to watch Traders. I got to watch the America's Next Top Model doc. And then we're going to be watching Bell Collective tonight. So we'll talk about all three of those shows tomorrow. If you guys have some time, definitely tune in. I'll try to set the link up early so that you don't have to guess what time we're going to be going live. So you will at that point know. Wait, Traders was disappointing. Oh my God. I'm not shocked. I am so not shocked by that because I just kind of felt like everybody exciting is gone. And I don't understand why the showrunners did not realize we're not going to have anybody left to watch. Like the audience is not going to have anybody left to watch. What are y'all thinking? I would have had to intervene if I'm one of the producers on the show, I would have been like, we got to do something because we got to bring somebody back. We have got to bring somebody back because this is going to be the pits if this is the cast that we got to work with. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I can already imagine. Oh, good. It's only one more. I mean, I hate to say that. Ooh, not a snooze fest. All right, y'all. Well, we'll check it out and we'll see what it's given and what it's not, and then we'll report back. So anyway, y'all, make sure you guys click the link in the description. Tap into our Bali trip before it's all gone because I have a feeling it is going to be gone pretty soon. And then we'll figure out what we are going to do next. All right. So with that being said, y'all, happy Friday. Want to send much love to y'all, and I will catch you in the next video.